皆さんこんにちは。
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for joining us today for the Goi Peace Foundation Forum 2022. We appreciate your joining us. My name is Hiro Saionji, the president of Goi Peace Foundation. I'm joined by Masami Saionji, chairperson of the Goi Peace Foundation. We will be proceeding with part one. The Goi Peace Foundation Forum is an annual event that provides an opportunity to think together with many people, including leaders from various fields, on themes necessary to create a better world. As was the case the previous year and the year before last, this year's event is being held online. But next year, rather than business as usual, we would like to draw on the experience of the past 3 years to deliver an even better forum where more people can participate. That is our wish. Now, as I look back on this past year, I'm reminded once again that the world is currently in a truly critical situation. I sometimes talk to students about peace. And as a prerequisite for thinking about peace, I would like to talk about 5 major factors that threaten peace. That is where I would like to start. The first is naturally war and conflict, which really is the exact opposite of peace. The second threat is poverty, hunger, inequality, and discrimination, and other factors that lead to war and conflict. And the third would be diseases, especially infectious disease. The fourth would be natural disasters. And the fifth would be environmental destruction and resource depletion and environmental pollution. Of course, there are many other factors as well. However, these are the major factors without a doubt. If we compare the current world situation, in reality, Ukraine is currently in a state of war, and poverty, hunger, and inequality are worsening. In addition, over the past 3 years, the pandemic of the new coronavirus, COVID-19, has continued. There are also global warming and other factors, which are causing abnormal and extreme weather conditions and natural disasters in many parts of the world. Furthermore, the total consumption of the world's resources is increasing in proportion to the world's population growth, as well as per capita consumption of the world resources is exponentially increasing. And if this trend were to continue, then the capacity of the global ecosystem, which is our precious living space, will be exceeding its limits. So in this way, unfortunately, all of the 5 major factors threatening peace unfortunately apply to the current world situation. And I believe you can see how critical the world is right now. Now, having said that, I believe that the 5 factors that I have mentioned are only phenomenon. These are simply phenomenons. And that the biggest problems that create such a situation are the values, consciousness, and the actions of each and every human being. That, I believe, is the issue. In other words, people's hatred, conflict, ego, discriminatory thoughts, wasteful and greedy way of life are at the root of various problems and difficulties we are faced with today. So therefore, in order to resolve these factors that threaten peace, we must change the values, awareness, and the actions of the people that lie at the root of all these problems. This, I believe, is consistent with exactly what Mr. Satish Kumar, the Goi Peace Award laureate for this year, has been advocating, changing ourselves to change the world. I believe this is consistent with Mr. Kumar's philosophy, which is changing ourselves to change the world. Now, today's forum will welcome Mr. Satish Kumar, a world-renowned peace activist, as a main guest, and this will be a 2-part program under the title of Soil, soul, society, changing ourselves to change the world. In part 1, we will be asking Mr. Satish Kumar to give Goi Peace Award commemorative speech, and then we will hear more about his way of life and worldview from our conversation with myself and the chairperson later on. In part 2, our guests, Mr. Kozo Takei and Mr. Haruo Miyagi, will join us for a dialogue on how to create a new society. And we will also be joined by Mr. Kumar as well. And Executive Director Ms. Kamura will be facilitator. We will be talking about how we can create a new world in part 2.
Now we would like to begin part 1 of the program. Before introducing 2022 Goi Peace Award recipient, for some in the audience who are attending this forum for the first time, I would like to briefly introduce Goi Peace Award. Goi Peace Award is an international award presented annually to honor individuals and organizations in various fields, including education, science, culture, politics, and economics, that have made outstanding contributions toward the realization of a peaceful and harmonious world for all life on Earth, and in particular, share the same direction as the philosophy and principles advocated by Goi Peace Foundation under the Declaration for All Life on Earth. The philosophy of the Declaration for All Life on Earth is that the Earth is an evolving living entity, and 4 general principles are reverence for life, respect for all differences, gratitude for and coexistence with all of nature, harmony between the spiritual and material. We revere life, respect difference, nature, and the spirit. That is the society we aim to realize. What this year's and important selection standard of the Peace Award is sharing of these values. What this year's recipient, Mr. Satish Kumar, has practiced in his activities throughout his life as a philosopher, peace activist, and educator is completely aligned with the philosophy and principles of the Declaration. There are 22 past recipients and 5 recipients for Peace Culture Award. Amongst the past recipients, the first recipient was Dr. James Lovelock, who advocated Gaia theory. Sadly, he passed away this year. But Dr. Lovelock was the first lecturer at Schumacher College that Mr. Kumar founded. And 2006 recipient, Mr. Dwayne Elgin, advocates voluntary simplicity. 2012 recipient, Ms. Helena Norberg Hodge, advocates localization movement. And I see similarities in view of these activities with Mr. Kumar's activities. I recently watched a dialogue between Mr. Kumar and Ms. Lynn Twist, 2015 recipient. I am really delighted to find that Goi Peace Award recipients share common values and are connected in various ways. Now, let me introduce Mr. Satish Kumar, 2022 recipient of Goi Peace Award, and his profile. He was born in India in 1936. At the age of 9, he became a Jain monk. And at the age of 18, he was inspired by the non-violence philosophy of Mahatma Gandhi and left the mendicant order. When he was in his mid-20s, from 1962, he spent almost 2.5 years in peace pilgrim, walking 13,000 kilometers without any money, advocating for abolition of nuclear weapons. During the pilgrimage, he felt a sense of crisis after seeing the continuous destruction of nature by the contemporary civilization and started environmental advocacy. After moving to the United Kingdom, he held up the holistic vision where the trinity of soil, soul, and society are in balance to create peaceful and fair society in which people and nature are in harmony and spirit is respected. And he is serving for more than 40 years as the editor-in-chief of Resurgence and Ecologist, and he jointly founded Schumacher College, educating 20,000 people from 90 countries in the last 30 years. He turned 86 this year and is very actively engaged in authorship and lecturing worldwide. He has devoted his whole life to create peaceful and sustainable world and gave inspiration to many people to change the world by changing themselves. In tribute to his achievements over the years, Goi Peace Award is presented to Mr. Kumar. I would now like to call on Mr. Satish Kumar. He is joining us online from Heartland in southwestern United Kingdom.
Mr. Kumar, congratulations. Congratulations, sir. Congratulations. Thank you for wearing the medal. We have sent you the medal and the certificate. Can you say just a few words to accept this medal? Can you say just a few words to accept this medal?
This is my great honor and pleasure and a privilege to receive this prestigious International Peace Award from the Goi Peace Foundation. Thank you very much for honoring me and recognizing the services I have given for the peace in the world. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Mr. Kumar, you are the laureate of the Goi Peace Foundation, and now you are now among the list of the prestigious people of the laureates. It is indeed an honor to welcome you to this list. Then, without further ado, we would now like to invite Mr. Satish Kumar to provide us with his Goi Peace Award commemorative speech. Mr. Kumar, the floor is yours.
Thank you. Arigato. Again, I would like to say that I am honored and delighted to receive this prestigious Goi Peace Award. And I humbly accept it on behalf of all those who have supported me and guided me directly or indirectly in my work for peace. First of all, I offer my humble tribute to my mother, who was an embodiment of peace among people and peace with our precious planet Earth. She planted the seeds of peace in my soul. Then I pay my homage to my many teachers and companions who have inspired me to dedicate my life in the cause of peace. All my work is co-creation. My lifelong pilgrimage started at age 9, as you have already heard in my introduction. This time, I want to focus on my trinity of soil, soul, society in this my keynote speech. Many historical movements in the world have 3 key words that express their spirit. During the French Revolution, for example, the key words were liberté, égalité, fraternité. And in the American Declaration of Independence, you find the words life, liberty, and a pursuit of happiness. Liberté, égalité, fraternité is a very nice trinity, but it is very human. Human liberty, human fraternity, human equality. In the same way, the American Declaration of Independence life is primarily human life. Liberty is human liberty, and happiness is human happiness. These words represent a more anthropocentric worldview. We have come to think that somehow human beings are at the center of the universe. It is as if we are the most important species and that the Earth's other species are all in our service. This is a very human-centered worldview. But this worldview is no longer valid, especially once we realize we are utterly dependent on other species. We are not the rulers of the world, here to do what we like, but we have to take care of the other species because we are all made of each other. We are not separate. We are all related. We are members of one earth community. So, we need a new trinity to replace those human-centered trinities. Even the trinity adopted by the New Age movement, mind, body, spirit, refers to human mind, human body, and human spirit. We need a new trinity that is holistic and inclusive, a trinity that embraces the entire planet Earth and not just the human species. We need a philosophy, a science, a religion, and a legal system that will benefit all living beings, not just human beings. So I propose a new trinity. And at the top of this trinity is the word soil, which represents the entire natural world. Without soil, there is no food, and without food, there is no life. No trees, no forests. So soil represents life on earth. In our human-centered worldview, in our educational systems, in our study of science and technology, we have come to think that soil simply means dirt, and that dirt is dirty. But dirt is not dirty. Dirt is the source of life. Without dirt, there is no life. Soil, therefore, represents all natural life. And the fact that we are related to and dependent on the soil. Some people may think that food comes from the supermarket. Most of us don't grow food these days. If somebody grows food, we think, oh, poor man, peasant, laborer. He's not educated, so he has to grow food. If you are educated, then you don't grow food. Growing food has no dignity. You sit behind your computer and your food comes from far away places. You don't want to grow food because growing food is a sign of backwardness. If you are educated, rich, then you manufacture cars or televisions or computers or some other gadgets. Growing food has become a sign of underdevelopment. The word peasant itself has become a term of insult. I want to change that. I want to say that we must touch the soil. We must put our hands into the soil. How many times do you touch your mobile phone every day? Maybe 100 times. How many times do you touch the soil? Please tell me. Hardly ever. I want to give dignity to peasants, to those who grow our food, to farmers and to gardeners. Soil is so important, yet we have forgotten it. Yes, we humans are important too, But the human species is only one of the 7.8 million species on Earth. We are not the kings. We are not an imperial power. And the Earth is not a human colony. At the moment, we behave as if we can do to Earth what we like. We can cause global warming. We can change the climate. We can alter the soil. We can destroy rainforests. We can overfish the oceans. We can interfere with seeds through genetic engineering. This attitude must change. This is why I put the soil at the top. We are all part of this healthy web of life maintained by soil. It makes us humble. To be human is to be humble. The Latin word humus means soil. Humidity, human, humility, all come from the same root. The soil is so fertile and yet very humble. When humans lose humility, they are no longer humans. Once, the Buddha was sitting in meditation with his right hand above the left hand. His son Rahul came to him and asked, "Father, you are world teacher. You teach compassion, forgiveness, love, and forbearance. From where did you learn all these wonderful qualities? Who is your teacher?" Buddha lifted his right hand in the Bhumi Sparsh Mudra, which means touch the earth posture. Pointing towards the soil, he said, "I learned by forgiveness, compassion, friendship, kindness, and all the wonderful qualities of love, beauty, unity, and generosity from the earth." What a wonderful answer. Do you know where the Buddha was enlightened? Sitting under a tree. My mother used to say the Buddha got enlightenment because he was sitting under a tree. A tree has intrinsic value. That is, a tree is good not because it gives me food, wood, shade, or aesthetic pleasure. No. The tree is good in and of itself. Even if nobody goes and looks at it, even if nobody ever says, "Wow, look at those beautiful cherry blossoms," even if no one ever sees it, the tree will still blossom. This is divine grace appearing on the earth. Trees, animals, plants, rocks, mountains, rivers, worms, butterflies, honeybees, all creatures upon this earth have intrinsic value. They have the right to be as they are, who they are, and what they are. We talk about human rights, and that's fine. I believe in human rights. But nature also has rights. The trees have rights to exist. We have no right to cut them down without proper purpose. When we understand this, when we recognize the rights of the trees, rights of all nature, then we are truly ecologists and we understand the meaning of the word soil. We have to make peace with the earth, peace with soil. The second word in my new trinity is soul, which sounds similar to soil. Soul is something we cannot see. The human body you can touch, hug, kiss, and admire. But in order to touch your soul, I have to close my eyes. Soul is not something I can see. Everything, trees, animals, worms, and humans, has soul. Soil is outer landscape and soul inner landscape. We need to take care of the soul. We take care of the body, but we can only take care of the soul when we slow down. No computer, no car, no shopping. Just sit in your room with tea and flowers. Elegantly simple, without clutter. Go into a room without noise, no mobile phones. Take time for yourself. Meditate on the fact that you represent the totality of the universe. There is nothing in the universe that is not in you. And there is nothing in you that is not in the universe. The universe is a macrocosm and you are the microcosm. You are earth, air, fire, water. You are imagination, creativity, consciousness, time and space. You have this all in your genes and in your cells. You are billions of years old. You have been recycled and recycled again and again. You are a beautiful example of the total recycling principle of the universe. So if you want to take care of the universe, you start with yourself. Care of the soul is for self-realization. Meditation is also for self-realization. As is gardening. In mindful gardening, you are in meditation. When you are cooking mindfully, you are also in meditation. Because you are not just cooking to feed yourself or your family. You are cooking for self-realization. Taking care of yourself, being at ease with yourself, being happy with yourself, being fulfilled in yourself. Whoever I am, I am. Self-realization will make you at ease with yourself. Everything you truly need and want is within you. You are capable of solving every problem in the world with your inner wisdom. Wisdom is a soul quality, as are generosity, love and friendship, unity and beauty. You will discover that all you need is here. The air, fire, food, water, trees, soil, sun and sky. What more do you want? If you want more possessions and more clutter, it is because you have lost touch with your soul. That's why your soul is hungry. The hunger will not be fulfilled by computers, cars or mobile phones. Slow down and take care of your soul. Without a happy soul, you are the poorest of the poor. Spiritual poverty is the greatest poverty, greater than any physical poverty. And as you take care of the soil, you take care of the soul. Your outer body is soil and your inner being is soul. When you also take care of both body and soul, you are self-realized. You make peace with yourself, peace with your soul. Caring for the soul is nothing to do with ego. We have to also care of society. I walked from India to America without money. When I came to the border between India and Pakistan, where 3 wars have been fought, I was joined by 35 people who had come to say goodbye. And one of my friends said to me, "Here are some packets of food for you, Satish. At least take some food with you. You are going to Pakistan, the Muslim country. We have wars with Pakistan. You are not going to survive there." I said, "Thank you, but no thank you. I am going to Pakistan for peace. And peace begins with trust. Trust is in my heart. And these packets of food that you are giving me are not packets of food. They are packets of mistrust. what would I tell to Pakistanis? That I didn't trust you, that you will feed me. My friend began to cry. Why are you crying, my friend, I asked. And she replied, Satish, this might be our last meeting. I may never see you again. You are going to Muslim countries, Christian countries, capitalist countries, communist countries, mountains, forests, deserts, snow, no money, no food. You are walking. How are you going to survive? At that moment, I said to my friend, that my friend, from today, I'm not afraid of death. If I die while walking for peace, I will say, this is the best way to die. And I'm not afraid of hunger. If I don't get food one day, I will say, this is my opportunity to fast. Then I walked into Pakistan. And to my utter surprise, there was a man standing there waiting for us. And he asked me, are you the two men coming to Pakistan for peace? I was surprised. How do you know? I asked him. He said, I read about it. I read about you. And I thought that if you are coming for peace to Pakistan, I should come and meet you because I'm for peace. At that moment, I realized the unity of human society. If I came into Pakistan as an Indian, I meet a Pakistani. If I come as a Hindu, I meet a Muslim. If I come as a capitalist, I meet a communist. But if I come as a human being, I meet human beings everywhere. This is my idea of unity of human society. Mahatma Gandhi said, there's enough in the world for everybody's need, but not enough for anybody's greed. This is what we have to overcome. If we can have a holistic view of soil, soul, and society, if we can understand the interdependence of all living beings and understand that all living creatures, from trees to worms to humans, depend on each other, then we can live in harmony with ourselves, with other people, and with nature. Thus, we can make peace in the world. This is the new trinity of soil, soul, and society. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mr. Kumar. That was a wonderful presentation. Thank you so much. Now, Chairperson, she has a comment. Thank you so much, Mr. Kumar. Having listened to your presentation, you touched my soul. You really touched me. We became one in soul. Mankind, humankind, we all have this sincerity, but we've forgotten that. But no matter who you are, no matter if you're poor, no matter how rich you are, no matter prestigious person maybe, we're all equal. Indeed, this beautiful, we all have beautiful heart given by God. We have forgotten that. But Mr. Kumar, having heard your presentation, I once again felt that we are indeed unified. Soil, soul, and society. You mentioned soil the first. I have not read your book in the fullest. And I was wondering why soil first, but then having heard your comments, I now understand. I feel it so much. And I hope that we need to communicate with the mankind. You are the only one who can communicate this to the mankind. In Bible or whatever the sacred books are, we talk about the importance of people. But we don't talk about soil, do we? We always talk about. But the most fundamental element is soil. But we do not focus on that, do we? But you did. Mr. Kumar, you are the one who found this truth. And you embody this yourself. And you are trying to communicate to the mankind as a whole. That's wonderful, wonderful achievement. I will take it. I will grasp your learning. Let us work together. We're all equal. We're all sincere. We're all part of the soil. Thank you so much for this wonderful message. Wonderful presentation. Thank you so much. I appreciate it, Mr. Kumar.
Thank you for your very kind words.
Thank you. Now, Mr. Kumar, in your presentation, you mentioned that you talked about your life and we want to know more about your worldview through this dialogue now. Now, I've read about you and I've prepared several questions. So, at the age of 4, I think you lost your father. Your father passed away when you were only 4 years old. And I understand that your mother struggled, I understand. I'm sure that you were very sad to lose your father. But then your mother loved meditation. She found peace through meditation, I understand. Now, Mr. Kumar, you were not able to accept the death of a very close person. And then you came across the Jain monk at that time. And you decided to join a Jain monk. You decided to become a Jain monk. And you became a Jain monk at the age of 9. Age of 9! You were 9 years old when you left the world and you joined the monkhood. You became a Jain monk. So that is what I read. And you spent 9 years at the monk, as a priest. You did not take a bath, right, for the 9 years. And you let your hair grow. And you fasted, you meditated. So I believe the 9 years of monkhood was a very difficult period for you, I would imagine. Now, but still, you felt that you were not able to gain the enlightenment, even though you became a Jain monk. Then you came across Mahatma Gandhi. You came upon the words of Mahatma Gandhi, and you felt that you did not have to join the monkhood. You felt it was important that you live for the world. You can be part of the world without being a monk. This is the learning that you gained from the book by Gandhi. So you left. I think you ran away from the monkhood, right? I understand that you ran away, I understand. So I think your relationship with Guru became very difficult, and your relationship with your mother also faced difficulties, but still you ran away. And you wanted to, as you mentioned, you wanted to go to Buddha Gaya, where Buddha received enlightenment, and you began a new form of training. And together with the Guru that you met, you walked 13,000 kilometers, preaching nuclear disarmament. So you went on a you became a pilgrim. And then after that, you preached peace. It was a pilgrimage to seeking for peace. But you also focused on, you learned about environment. You learned that people were at war with the environment. So you also became very interested in environmental issues. So you became important. So this became pilgrimage for peace as well as for the environment. Then later on, you went to the United Kingdom, and you decided to become an editor for the magazine that focused on environment. You also created college. You created Shimaha College, very famous. So that is that's the backdrop that I learned. That is such an outstanding life that you led. So let me turn to the first point, if I may. So why did you this pilgrimage? What was the meaning of your pilgrimage? Can you elaborate on the significance and the meaning of your pilgrimage? Can you talk about the pilgrimage that you went on? Thank you.
Thank you. Life is a pilgrimage because we are in this journey for relationship. And pilgrimage is to go and live and work without any expectation, not thinking that what I can get from the world, but thinking what I can offer to the world. What can I give? Because we have to have a gratitude. We have received so much from the world. We have received so much, our life, our wisdom, our religion, our culture, our poetry, our architecture, our body itself. We have received and received and received. So now to be a pilgrim is to give something back. So in this great river of poetry, music, art, peace, religion, spirituality, we make our contribution. So each and every human being makes a little contribution. So this great river of the universe is made of many, many tributaries. Each and every one of us make this contribution. So as a monk, as walking around the world for peace, starting the magazine, starting Schumacher College, writing books, these are all my gifts to the world in gratitude to say that thank you, world. Thank you, universe. Thank you for giving me this life so that I can serve. So this is my idea of being a pilgrim of life. This is a kind of mutuality, reciprocity. All our thriving is mutual. We have to work together. And that is how we make peace in the world.
なるほど。ありがとうございます。
Thank you.
そういうそのなんていうんですか人生を歩まれた人生ってのは決して
You have
最初から
led life,
クマルさんがプランを
and
立てて
were you planning to lead a life that you did, but without planning, rather than have a plan, instead, we should have a vision that is in your book. Could you elaborate on that?
Yes. Living in the present moment requires spontaneity, requires improvisation, and requires imagination. If you have a plan, you have a fixed idea, and if your things don't work out as you plan, then you are disappointed, and you feel unhappy. So I act out of a vision, but responding to the situation as it emerges. And I'm not looking for any results or outcome or accomplishment. I am offering my life as a service to the world. And in serving the world, that itself has its value. No other expectation, any other results. Serving, loving, caring, that is the purpose of my life. And so this is why I don't make any plans. I have a vision, I have values, I have a kind of idea that I want to serve the world, but I live in the present moment. Present moment is the most beautiful moment. And using your imagination, using your spirit, using your creativity, and responding to the moment to moment in a positive way, that is better for me than having a plan and not achieving that plan, then being disappointed, then having another plan, not achieving that, then disappointed. That is not the right path for a spiritual pilgrim person.
So
no plan, just vision.
Mr. Kumar, I so agree with you. I want to love people, I want to please people, I want to make people happy. People who may have difficulties, people who may look down upon others, anyone. I would like to give love to everyone and not try to to force someone to change personality, but by giving love, I think that leads to happiness and will lead to emergence of the divinity of that person. We don't have to call something a religion. We don't have to name something some kind of religion, but a way of living for people. It has to be whole encompassing the belief of one's person of how to lead a life that will change people and can bring joy and happiness and can unify or unite everything. For many young people, that is a very good teaching. Thank you. I am moved.
Yeah. Yes, the thing is that to unify people and to change society, to bring about transformation, as Mahatma Gandhi said, we have to be the change that we want to see in the world. Like a radiator in a room. Radiator heats itself, it's a warm, and radiates the heat in the room by being hot, being warm. And then other people will come to the radiator to become warm. And so we have to be the change and then transform the world by participation, by exchanging our radiation, exchanging ideas. No one person is right or wrong. We all have something right and we all have something wrong. We have to exchange ideas. So make peace in the world. We don't have to impose my idea on the other people. I mean, sometimes we think that this system is right and the whole world should follow one system. But diversity, as in your Goi Foundation Declaration you have said, respect the differences. We are all different. Diversity should be celebrated. Diversity should be embraced. We should not impose a uniformity on whole world. One kind of food, like McDonald's everywhere, Coca-Cola everywhere, or one kind of architecture, high-rise buildings everywhere. You go to New York or go to Tokyo or go to Osaka or go to Mumbai, same kind of high-rise buildings, same kind of food. So this kind of uniformity. And people want same kind of economic system, global system. So this kind of uniformity does not bring peace because people feel things are imposed on them. So celebrating diversity and embracing diversity is the way to make peace. And this is why I like very much in your Goi Foundation Declaration, one of the points you made is that we should celebrate and embrace the differences and not think that one way is better than the other way. We have many religions, we have many languages, we have many ways of economic system, many ways of cooking. If you go to, same rice, if you go to Japan, it's cooked differently than in China, or it's different than in India, or different in Italy. So same rice, you cook in 100 different ways. So respecting differences and diversity is the key to peace.
Yes, thank you. Yes, thank you for touching upon Goi Peace Foundation's thought. I think we are indeed consistent. Now, when we take a look at the world today, how can I put it? I think there's a division because of the differences. We see many divisions. The division among countries, division among religions, division among races, and also we see disparity. And also division of ideology. So there's also the division between genders. So we see this division. I hope that we can create a better world so that we can. What do we need to foster diversity? How can we foster diversity in our world today?
Yes, the division is not diversity. Diversity is to respect differences. And division is to say there's a conflict between differences. So if you are a Buddhist and a Hindu, Hindu will say, I respect the Buddhists. And Buddhists say, I respect the Hindus. Then there's a diversity of celebration. and celebration of diversity. But if Hindus say Hindu is better than Buddhist, or Muslim is better than Christian, or American system is better than Chinese system, or Chinese system is better than American system, this kind of idea that one system is higher and the other system is lower, that is creating division. And division creates conflict. And division and conflict create war and destruction. So diversity is to celebrate the differences, and division is to put down the differences and try to impose uniformity. So through diversity, we also see unity. And uniformity is not unity. Unity is to see the underlying unity manifesting in diversity. So unity and diversity dance together. This is the key. We are all one humanity. That's a unity. Within one humanity, you have many languages, many cultures, many economic system, political system, and many truths, many ideas, many philosophies, but one humanity. Like you have one Japan, but within one Japan, there are many, many different kinds of cities and towns and arts and crafts and different ways of tea ceremony, different way of doing ikebana, different way of many, many good differences. So unity and diversity dance together. Uniformity and division create war and conflict. So how to transform the division into diversity and uniformity into unity is the challenge of our time. And this is the work that Goi Foundation, Schumacher College, Resurgence and Ecological Magazine, and many, many other people are engaged in doing. And actually, when I went around the world, and I was without any money, I had no money. For 2.5 years, I walked through 15 different countries. And everywhere, I was welcomed. That's a unity. And there was no conflict. And I celebrated diversity. So I experienced the unity and diversity beyond division and uniformity. So I would say this is our work. And many, many people in the whole world are engaged in creating that kind of respectful relationship among all people. And this is what we have to promote. And there are few people who are trying to impose uniformity on the world and create a kind of global economy and global politics and global everything and one kind of system. That has to change.
Yes, you're quite right. And we also at our foundation, in the second principle of declaration, respects diversity. We have to respect and accept differences in diversity and should be able to enjoy differences, the variety in the world. For everyone to have such a value is very important. And that's also an important factor. Mr. Kumar, as I listen to you, what I would like to do going forward is very much in line with what you're saying. In the past, there are many divisions, and there were more focus on knowledge. But going forward in the future, I would like to focus on the young people. They are still buds before blossoming, and I would like the young people to listen to Mr. Kumar and understand that everyone is different but unified, and there are different ways of living but can be unified. And president of a country or in the business community, in religious community, there are silos, fixed structures, but going forward, Mr. Kumar, my husband, and I myself, when we try to educate young people, I think the focus be on, first of all, vision and what Mr. Kumar told us today, and that should be spread throughout the world. So we will have a new future. So what you told us is a message for the future. As the chairperson mentioned, in terms of educating young people, we are also working hard on education, and Mr. Kumar, you started a small school, first for children and then for grown-ups, for adults. You founded Schumacher College. And Mr. Kumar, your philosophy and vision on education, could you share that with us?
Yes. I started the small school at Schumacher College because I wanted a holistic education. At the moment, when a student goes to school or goes to university, the teachers will look at the student, the young person, and they think that the student has no body, no hands, no heart, no body, only brain. And we educate only the brain. And only half brain. Because we have two hemispheres in our brain. The left hemisphere and the right hemisphere. The left hemisphere is more technical, technological, scientific, rational. The right hemisphere is more imaginative, intuitive, creative, spiritual, and relational. Our schools and universities don't touch the right hemisphere of the brain, and they don't touch the hands and the heart. So I wanted to create education of head, whole head, left hemisphere and the right hemisphere. Education of hearts and education of hands. So at Schumacher College, our students live in a community. They work in the garden together. They cook together. They make some crafts together. And they do science and economics and other academic subjects as well. And we go out in nature. Nature is our teacher. So we have human teachers like James Lovelock and Helena Norberg Hodge and many other great teachers come, Bishop Capra. But we also go out in nature and say, nature is our teacher. Like the Buddha said, nature is my teacher. So education of head, education of heart, and education of hands, that is holistic education. And for the last 30 years at Schumacher College, we have been bringing this new model of education. And I would like every school in the world, every university in the world to have education of head, heart, and hands. Why don't we have gardens in our schools and universities? Why don't we have fields and farms where children can learn to grow food? Children can learn to build houses. Young people can learn to make pottery or furniture. These practical skills and intellectual skills should go together. And also spirituality, heart, how to live with each other, how to be kind and compassionate, how to be loving and respectful, and good relationship. These values have to be learned. You can learn to be compassionate. You can learn to be kind. You can learn to serve others. But our schools and universities don't teach these skills. This is why the small school and Schumacher College I started. And I want now, the Schumacher College is now spreading. Even in Japan, we had many young people from Japan coming to Schumacher College, and now they want to start something similar in Japan. And we have people in China, and in Australia, and in South America, and in India. So people are starting holistic education for young people, because the young people are the hope of the future. Young people have to learn how to live in harmony with themselves, with other people, and with nature. And therefore, it is our responsibility to educate young people to live in harmony and in peace with the world and with themselves and with nature. This is a great challenge of our time. And Schumacher College and the small school is attempting and trying to serve our young people. And they give me hope. Young people are my hope. Young people are my inspiration. This is why I started Schumacher College, because I wanted to give something to our next generation. And we have to think of the future generations. The American Indian tribal indigenous communities always thought of how our action today are going to impact the seventh generation. Seventh generation. That was the wisdom of the indigenous cultures in North America. So we have to always think of future generations, young people, and their holistic education. Then we can create more peaceful world.
Mr. Kumar, your philosophy of education is totally consistent with us. We have an earth, we are also involved in our own program. We want to go beyond religion or race. We're all part of the earth community. We're all children of the earth. So we have this earth Hiroba program. And we try to teach programs that cannot be taught in conventional schools. We teach head, heart, and hand. So we try to teach them how to coexist with nature. So we have this program. So in that regard, I think in terms of education, we also have we're very close in our philosophy between the two organizations. Now next, I would like to talk about science and spirituality, the relationship between spirituality and science. So be it IT, or be it artificial intelligence, we see many things that are evolving, and also robotics, we see robotics, genetic engineering, so we see advances in technology. So as technology advances, how should we address that? Because we cannot stop advances in technology, can we? So that being the case, how can we try to strike a balance between the advances in technology? What is your view, sir?
Yes. This is a very important point and a very important question that you have raised, the relationship between science and spirituality. I think science without spirituality can be dangerous. Science can produce nuclear weapons. Science can produce genetic engineered seeds. Science can produce weapons of war. Because without spiritual values, without ethical values, without human and ecological values, science can be dangerous. Therefore, science needs spiritual dimension. So science should be guided by ethical, moral, spiritual, human values. That is very important. In the same way, religion can be dangerous without scientific outlook. If we do not have an open mind, if you do not have an inquiring mind, if you don't have a questioning mind, then we can have blind faith. And we can become dogmatic. And blind faith and dogmatic can create new problems. Therefore, science is necessary for all religions and spiritual people to have an open mind, to have an inquiring mind, for a questioning mind. That is essential. So spiritual people, religious people need science. And scientific people need spiritual things. And I was honored and privileged to be invited by the Pope Francis in Rome, in Vatican. And it was a meeting of science and spirituality. And I stood in front of the Pope and the people in front of me. I said, like doctors take Hippocratic oath. Now, Hippocratic oath is a spiritual oath. And only doctors take it, the oath of doing no harm. Now, I said that not only doctors, but scientists, all scientists must take Hippocratic oath. And they say, we will not do any research. will not do any invention, will not do any innovation, technological innovation, which will do harm. Doing no harm is a spiritual principle. And not only scientists, but also economists and politicians and business leaders should also take the Hippocratic oath. Do no harm. Then you are free to do whatever you like to do. Innovation is good. Invention is good. Technology can be good. Science is good. This is why I invited James Lovelock to be our first teacher at Schumacher College. So I'm for science, but scientists must take Hippocratic oath to say no violence, no harm. So science needs spirituality. And spiritual organizations and spiritual leaders need scientific mind. And when science and spirituality come together, we have more holistic vision. Whereas only science or only religion becomes partial. So religion without science is dangerous, and science without spirituality is also dangerous. Bring them two together. This is a marriage of the left brain and the right brain. It's a marriage of the mind and the heart. It's a marriage of material and spiritual. Because science is about material world. Science is concerned about what you can be measured, what can be quantified. So it's a kind of external world. But we are also made of spirit, human spirit. And if you don't nurture human spirit, if you allow human spirit to go hungry and starve, we will not be happy. So we are not just matter, we are also spirit. And so science is important for the looking after the material world, and spirit is necessary for looking after the inner world. So inner and outer go together, like walking on two legs. You walk on two legs, the material and the spiritual, the scientific and the spiritual. By taking care of our external world and taking care of our inner world must go together.
So what you are saying is exactly the same as Dr. Einstein. Religion without science is blind, and science without religion is also incomplete. And Einstein's intellect led to the invention of atomic bombs, so I think there was some soul-searching on his part. It's important that science is developed, but for what purpose is more important than developing the science itself. And Mr. Kumar, you wrote a book on simplicity, and I would like to mention a little about your concept of voluntary simplicity. It's important to lead a life in simplicity, and I think you were inspired by Gandhi. If you live simply, then other people are also able to live. And I understand that you were inspired by that message of Gandhi. And to live simply is to live materially simply, but you've also, I think, say spiritual simplicity at the same time. Could you talk about that a little bit?
Yes, thank you for that very good and very important question. And as you know, I have written a book called Elegant Simplicity. And I'm very pleased to say that this book is now translated and published in Japanese in Japan. So I'm glad. At the moment, our humanity around the world is seeking economic growth and knows no limit, as if there is infinite or limitless world out there. But this is not the case. We live on a finite planet. And so we cannot have this unlimited, endless consumption. And it's not making people happy. And the unlimited, endless production and consumption is causing global warming, climate change, oceans are polluted with plastic, our rivers are full of sewage, and our soil is polluted with waste and pollution and landfills. So not living elegant and simple life is dangerous and harmful for the whole planet. So first and foremost, for an ecological, sustainable, and regenerative future for humanity, we have to live simple life. Elegant, yes. Beautiful, yes. Beauty is the food for the soul. But our consumerist culture is discarding the beauty. There's no place for beauty. When you make something by hand, with your imagination, with your creativity, make something beautiful. So elegant simplicity is to embrace beauty. And then whatever we make should also be useful. At the moment, our attics are cluttered. Our kitchens are cluttered. Our offices are cluttered with unnecessary stuff. And we don't know where to stop. And our advertising industry, our economic system, our government, our media, always say buy, 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 more shopping, no end. And so we need to embrace elegant simplicity by saying, I will have only what is beautiful, and I will have only what is useful, and also I will have only what is durable. At the moment, every year we have a new smartphone. Every year we have a new fashion clothes. Once a year you buy clothes and then you throw away next year. And you buy new clothes. And every 5 years you have a new car model. Too much. So we need to live simply so that others may simply live. For social justice, it is necessary that we consume less so that others can also consume. And therefore, elegant simplicity is the solution to our ecological crisis, our social crisis and social injustice, and also for our spiritual fulfilling. Because in order to buy more and more, we have to work long hours. 5 days a week, 6 days a week, from 9 to 5. There's no time for yourself. No time for meditation. No time to go to Fujiyama or walk in nature. No time to look at the cherry blossom. No time to make ikebana. No time for tea ceremony. No time for our friends and family. No time for ourselves. So for our spiritual well-being, we need to work less, have less money, and more time for spiritual and social and cultural and artistic pursuit. That will fulfill our inner needs. And therefore, we need to have time. And so, in order to create time, you need elegant simplicity. So for spiritual purpose and spiritual fulfillment, for social justice and equality, and for ecological balance, for all three dimensions, soil, soul, society, all three dimensions, we need elegant simplicity. And also, it is important that beautiful, useful, and durable, these three words, which I call BUD principle, B for beauty, U for usefulness, and D for durability, sustainability. B-U-D. This is my BUD principle of elegant simplicity.
Well, thank you very much, Mr. Kumar. I'm afraid our time is running out. Now, for many decades, we want to go beyond. We want to create universal peace that goes beyond national borders, races, and religion. May peace prevail on earth. This book was published in around the world, and 200,000 books were sold. And I think there are many people who are peace flag ceremony is being carried out among different countries. We have been involved in such a movement. We purely want to pray. We understand the importance of prayer. Mr. Kumar, you saw the war continuing between Russia and Ukraine. You made a call through the internet for people to join in the prayer for peace. So can you talk about how you see the power of prayer What is the meaning to prayer to pray for peace? What is the power of prayer? Can you share your thoughts with us, Mr. Kumar?
Thank you. I created this prayer for peace and was launched in London by Mother Teresa. And we believe that power of positive thinking is important power. And if we have a negative thinking, we create negativity in the world. If we have positive thinking, we create positive energy in the world. And therefore, I have urged people every day take 1 or 2 minutes to focus on positive thinking. And so this is a prayer for peace, and I ask people to say this by bringing 2 hands together. The right hand represents the world. Left hand represents the self. So by bringing 2 hands together, we unite the world and the self. And then say to the universe and to the powers of the universe, we say, Om Shanti. Lead me from death to life, from falsehood to truth. Lead me from despair to hope, from fear to trust. Lead me from hate to love, from war to peace. Let peace fill our hearts, our world, our universe. Peace, peace, peace. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. The whole cosmos is my country. The whole planet Earth is my common home. Nature is my nationality, and love is my religion. May peace prevail on this earth. Thank you.
ありがとうございました。
Thank you very much.
クマールさんの本当に素晴らしい
Mr. Kumar, with that wonderful prayer for peace, we are able to conclude part 1. Thank you very much for your wonderful speech.
クマールさん、素敵なお祈
Mr.
りあ
Kumar,
りがとうございました。
thank you very much for that wonderful
こ
prayer.
こからは第2部のダイ
We
アロ
will
グ
now
のセッションに移
begin
ってま
part
いりたいと
2,
思いま
the
す。
dialogue
テーマ
session.
は新しい社会を
The
作るに
theme
はどう
is
すればよいか
how
とい
can
う
we
ことです。
create a new society?
クマールさんがお話しくださったような
As
自
Mr.
然と調
Kumar
和し、精神性を大切にした生き方で
how can we create a society that is in harmony with nature and that treasures spirituality? How can we realize such a society? We would like to talk about this with 2 guest speakers who are actually engaged in activities to change society. With Mr. Kumar, now let me introduce the guest speakers. Mr. Kozo Takei, social activist and social system designer. Autonomous, distributed, recycled society are key concepts. Multi-layered relationship are key concepts. As he tried to achieve non-monetary economy and other new social systems, he conducts research and engages in activities. And he is co-president of UMO Corporation and serves on the board of many other for-profit and non-profit organizations. Mr. Takei, thank you for joining today. Thank you for having me. And next, Mr. Haruo Miyagi, who is the founder of ETHIC, non-profit organization entrepreneurial training for innovative communities. He is supporting entrepreneurs, more than 1,800 entrepreneurs who are trying to change the society, and he is proposing new way of living, new way of work, and he is also engaged in supporting local governments and other support organizations that support entrepreneurship, that engage in endeavor to change the society. Thank you for joining, Mr. Miyagi. Thank you for having me. And we have Mr. Kumar in part 2 as well. And I have the honor of moderating the session. I'm Kawamura from Goi Peace Foundation. First, I would like to turn to our guest panelists to share with us their impression of the program so far. And I would also like to ask them to briefly introduce how they are engaged in creating new society, starting from Mr. Takei. Thank you very much. First of all, Mr. Kumar, thank you for the wonderful speech. It was very moving, and I was inspired. And as you mentioned, Gandhi said that we have to change ourselves first to change the society. And I also am very fond of that message of Mr. Gandhi. Aging money, a local currency, recycling currency is what I manage through my company. And I'm also engaged in local power generation to enable circulation of local currency. And I'm engaged in activity to realize a local vibrant community. And I'm looking at various mechanisms in my activities to vitalize community, but to have mutual help and reciprocity. First, I think we have to start by feeling that we want to help others. Chicken or egg first question is often the question raised. When we try to create a new societal system, and this may sound like a cliche, but love, supporting each other, trust, these awareness is necessary. I think it is only possible if we have people who are aware of love, support to create new society and new mechanisms. And I think that is exactly what we need in today's society, in today's age. Thank you very much. Mr. Miyagi, please. I still enjoying the reverberations I felt from the prayer by Mr. Kumar. I have friends who went to Schumacher College, and I've heard so much about Mr. Kumar, and I wanted to meet Mr. Kumar so much, so it's an honor today. As I listened to Mr. Kumar's speech, I felt that seeing Mr. Kumar, it seemed to me that Mr. Kumar is the earth itself, and I felt that the soul of the earth was sending a message to us. That is how I felt as I listened to Mr. Kumar. I'm also very impressed by the fact that you've mentioned soil First, out of the trinity, soil, soul, society, the trinity, and I think that we also were not taught that in the school, and without realizing that aspect, we went through the whole educational system. So for the next generation, we have to communicate this importance of soil, soul, and society. That is how I felt as I listened to Mr. Kumar. In 1993, when I was still a university student, I learned that someone can be an entrepreneur. Young people in Japan studied hard to go to prestigious university so that eventually they can join a large company. That seemed to be the goal that people should aspire to. But people are able to create their life and career on their own by becoming an entrepreneur. And since around 2000, social entrepreneurs who try to improve community, who try to solve problems in the community, have been the focus of my activity since around 2000. So in that respect as well, today, seen from our vantage point, we have a leader, a pioneer, forebearer, and it was an honor to be able to listen to Mr. Kumar today. Thank you very much.
So we would not like to talk about how we can create a new society, but the key would be economy, work, and community, and also happiness. I think these were the key words. So let's focus on these 4 points in our dialogue session. So let's start with the topic of economy. Mr. Miyagi, you have come to face with many entrepreneurs. How do you see the position of economy as you try to create a new society? How do you position economy? Well, when it comes to economy, well, let me put it this way. I actually believe, as Mr. Kumar mentioned in his presentation today, I think we should be focusing on soil and soul. I think we should be mindful of these 2 points. I think we were at a stage where we really need soil and soul. So that being the case, how we see economy, I think we've been over-focusing on money as a yardstick for economy. I read Mr. Kumar's book. He talks about ecology. Actually, we should learn about ecology before economy. We should first learn ecology before economy, before you know about your house. If you talk about money before you talk about your home, nothing will take root. That's one of the lessons I learned from Mr. Kumar's book. So I think that perception, that vision is really important. For the past 200 to 300 years, we've been overly focused on money as the yardstick. We've been strongly influenced by money as one of our indicators and yardstick. That's been the history of mankind. And we're at a major turning point. So we need to focus on a new form of economy. I actually, when I talk to young people, I believe that topics of soil and soul will actually resonate with young people. So the prerequisite of economy is changing going forward, I believe. And I think the young people are really feeling that. And we need to make sure that the sensitivities of the young people can be transmitted to the community. Thank you very much for that. Now, you talked about GNM management. You talked about compassionate economy. You have been focusing on a new form of economy. And you've been active in creating such a new economy, Mr. Takei. So, Mr. Takei, you're involved in this type of new activity. How do you see economy? Mr. Takei, can you share your view? Yes, thank you. I really identify with what Mr. Miyagi just mentioned. The Japanese word for keizai, economy, actually starts out with the origin of helping each other. The Japanese economy should be focused on people to helping each other. Money economy is only a very small part of the economy. Because the prerequisite of economy in the past was focused on mutual help. But then politicians today, they only focus on money economy. They want to maximize money economy. So that is why they focus on the GDP as an indicator, as a yardstick. So the government has come out with a new economy, the new package where they want housewives to work in the market because that will generate new economy. But housewives, if we outsource all the housewives' jobs, what would happen? That will take actually about 10 million per annum. So housewives are already active in the economy. They actually help out among friends. That's also part of the economy. Helping out each other is part of the economy. Helping out among family members is also part of the economy. So human relationship is based on trust and relations. So human relationship doesn't require money. And to the contrary, money is necessary when you do transactions with a stranger. It's simply a tool to be used for transactions among strangers. So if you try to increase the amount of the flow of money, then the social capital will be eroded. So I'm not saying that money is good or bad, but that is the economy that we are faced with. That is my view. So, for example, we use the term finance, but the origin of finance is actually finish. You're severing, you're ending the relationship. Finish is the origin of the term finance. So, I want to create an economy that does not use money. How can we create an economy that is not reliant on money? So actually I receive eggs, vegetables, chocolate. I'm paid in kind when I offer my services to certain companies. I'm an advisor to several companies. I'm paid in kind. But that is also part of the economy. But then, having said that, money can be very convenient. So if you want to reduce the usage of money all the way down to zero immediately, that would not be that'd be too drastic. So we're overly reliant on money as an indicator. In Japan, if you walk 3 minutes or 5 minutes, you find a convenience store anywhere. And so you actually go out and buy soy sauce if you run out of. But then in the past, you actually would go to your neighbors to borrow soy sauce. That's the type of economy I would like to create once again. So economy should not be money economy. It should be economy based on help, mutual help among people. I think we're out that timing right now. That is my view.
Thank you for sharing your thoughts. Now, I would like to ask Mr. Kumar. You've heard from our two guests, and what is your impression?
Very good impression. Both our speakers have put the right ideas, and they are very close to my heart. And what we call economy in our modern times is not economy. It is money-nomy.
Money-nomy.
We should change the word from economy to money-nomy. And economy, the word ecos means home. And in the wisdom of the Greek philosophers, where the word comes from a Greek language, the Greek philosophers saw that the entire planet is our home. The birds flying in the sky are our relatives. The animals in the forest are our brothers and sisters. The rivers and mountains and forests are our relatives. And therefore, looking after the entire planet is our home. And management of entire planet is economy. That's the true meaning of the word. But what we have done, we have reduced the meaning to how to transact and exchange money, and how to use money to exchange goods. So we should call it money-nomy, not economy. Now, I was invited to speak at the London School of Economics. And I said, you are not teaching economics. You are teaching money. If you want to teach economics, then you have to teach ecology. And therefore, you must change your name. And you must call your university LSEE, London School of Ecology and Economics. So, what we have today is production and consumption. That has become the goal of society. Economic growth is not a growth in management of planet. Economic growth is growth of production and consumption and money supply. Now, nature has become a resource for the economy or for making money, production and consumption. This is the biggest mistake. Nature is not a resource for making money and profit. Nature is not a resource for production and consumption. Nature is a source of life itself. And our economic system has also turned humans into a resource. In our English language, we say the industry and the government and the business have an HR department. HR stands for human resources. So humans have become a resource for making profit, a resource for running a business, a resource for production and consumption. So nature has become a resource, humans have become a resource, and a profit, production, consumption has become the aim, the goal. This is where the economy has gone wrong. So we need to change this. We have to say that the integrity of nature is the goal, the end goal, the end. And human dignity is also the goal, the end. And the production, consumption, profit, finance, banking, all these are means, resources for protecting nature and dignifying humans. So what should be the means have become the end, and what should be the end has become the means. So if we want a good society, and if we want to how to make our society a good society, then we have to change the relationship between means and ends. And production, consumption, banking, finance, profit should be the means, money should be the means, and looking after nature, maintaining the integrity of nature, and human dignity should be the end. And in order to do that, we have to have a circular economy, a cyclical economy. At the moment, our economy is linear. You take from nature, use it, produce, consume, throw it away in the landfills, waste and pollution. Oceans are full of plastic, rivers are full of pollution, and landfills are full of rubbish. So this linear economy, if we want a good society, we need a circular economy. Whatever you take from nature should go back to nature. That is the economy of nature. The economy of nature has no waste and no pollution. Everything coming from nature goes back into nature. That is the economy of a good society. So if you are talking about creating a good society, create a circular economy, cyclical economy, and be free of this linear economy. Production, waste, pollution, throw away. This is not the economy. This is the money-nomy, and this is the waste. This is a change we need to make in order to create a good society. Thank you.
ありがとうございました。
Thank you so much, Mr. Kumar. Very straightforward, very Good point. Thank you. So let us now focus on a different topic. Let us shift from economy to job and work. Now, I'd like to ask the two Japanese guests. You are an entrepreneur. You're running your own organization. You're trying to identify a new work style. So can you share with us your thoughts about work? Can you talk about how you see work? Maybe we could start with Mr. Takei. How do you see your work? Yes, thank you. From about 15 years ago, I wanted to create a company without any rulers. So we have no bosses, we have no subordinates. I created a company with no bosses, no subordinates. And that company was called Jinen Management. Jinen means Jinen is a unique original word that I created. It means all things created on this earth, including people and goods. That's the management I wanted to have in my own company. That's how I wanted to manage my company. But if you have a joint stock company, if you have a company, you have a ruler. You have someone that rules the organization. And in many cases, it would be shareholders who actually control our company. But I did not want to control anyone. I did not want to be controlled either. And at the end of the day, what I went was that I would disclose all information, and we wanted to have people decide their own salary. Because as a president, we can dictate and set and decide on our own salary. So I wanted to have all people decide their own salaries. So if you have such an organization, then your perceptions change when you work in such an organization. Because people are, in other organizations, I think we became uncomfortable with strong rulers. We didn't want to be controlled. I'm not saying that control itself is negative at all times. I'm not saying that control is negative at all times. But when I think about when I thought about how I wanted to live my own life, this was the only option left to me. So in the world today, and this applies to education, but this also applies to how we work. We should not have a demarcation between students and people who work. Because people who work can also go to study at colleges, right? And sometimes we have elementary school students who start their own ventures. So I think we have more fluidity in the world today. In the past, I think we had more chaos in the past. But if you're an adult, you're children, this is work, this is private. I think we tend to delineate. But we should no longer have such delineation. I think we should have greater mixture, I think. So about 15 years ago, be it workplace, working hours, resting, I allowed people to choose freely. That's how I live. So I no longer have the sense that I'm working. I feel as though I'm doing something that is valuable to me. When I find something that is valuable to me, then I would spend hours. It could be on holiday. I don't mind working if it's holiday, if that's valuable to me. If it's a weekday, if my children need me, I would tend to my children. So I simply wanted to cater to what was important to me. So that comes first. What is important to me. So it's no longer about work. It's no longer about work to me. It's simply part of our daily life, day out life. That's the perception I have. I see. So Mr. Kumar talked about this in the presentation. If you want to create work, you need the simplistic elegance so that you can find hours to do this, right?
Life has to be elegant and simple. Yes, I want to lead a more elegant and simple life. I'm making myself a little too busy these days. But for me, work is a part of life. It's a part of my daily activities. and I take care of my children, and to speak in a seminar such as today are all equal to me. And as much as possible, I want to spend my time on what I value the most. And irrespective of whether it's weekday, weekend, or holiday, and so it's kind of jumbled together, but that is comfortable to me. And my wife kindly understands how I wish to lead my life. I'm very appreciative of that. Thank you. Mr. Miyagi, you've started your organization, and your sense of value and your work style, how are they related? Well, actually, I learned a lot from Takei-san, and I changed my organization last year. And looking back, I had a strong sense of mission and strong sense of responsibility, maybe too much. And I have been quite stoic in my approach. I did not take time off and continued to work for 30 years. But as I worked in that way, in the organization, without my knowing, I came to find out that our organization in the end had a structure like a pyramid. It came to have a pyramid hierarchical organization. But for young people today, it doesn't suit them to work in a hierarchical society like in the military in the past. Especially young people who come to our organization want to find new way of life, new way of working. But the organization that they join is somewhat outdated, and it's so contradictory. And I wanted to change the organization, and I have been trying to change the organization for the past 5 years. And in that process, I felt that I should let go of my organization to accelerate the change. And I resigned from the representative officer position 3 years ago. I had been quite stoic in the past, and I was driven by the sense of mission. And to resign from the representative officer position would have been a difficult decision for me, but I put the organization first, and I was able to arrive at the conclusion that I should resign as the leader or representative officer of the organization. And then after that, since last year, I found that I have more time to spend, and I realized that in myself, I wanted to understand the society without bias, but I realized that the very strong sense of responsibility clouded my vision, but I feel that I have a more clear, wider vision. As Mr. Kumar said today, and I also agree with Mr. Takei, what he just mentioned, I did not take good care of my own soul, and I was able to realize that. And I'm still trying to get hold of that. But so I try to spend more time to be in the nature. I'm now able to do that, and I think that in a more elegant way, I'm able to lead my life. And I think in a more elegant way, the sense of mission, what I want to do, are more or better unified. That's wonderful to hear. And you've served in the representative officer position for 30 years. And after you've decided that you should resign, and what was the most difficult decision as you tried to simplify your life? What was the most difficult decision? I did not have any second thought. When I reached that conclusion, I felt that that is the best for everyone. So I had no second thought. I did not struggle in reaching that decision. And almost everything was positive, but I spent ample time going over this decision. I wanted to transform the organization so that it will not have hierarchy, but that transformative process was pursued spending time. I had good communication with the staff, including those who've worked at this organization over many years. So I made sure to spend time to communicate to all of the people. But until I realized and made that decision, I was struggling. But after I found out the best way is to let go of the organization, I did not struggle anymore. And I enjoyed making that decision. But I think for some of the staff, it was a struggle. For everyone to be able to go to the next stage, we provided education and transform organization. And maybe after changing the organization, I could have left the position of representative officer, but I felt that I can trust my staff to complete the transformation of organization even without me. And after taking this decision, as Takei-san said, I'm disclosing every information, including my remuneration. And I heard that all staff are reaching that higher level of transparency, including the compensation. So I'm enjoying more now.
So you heard the remarks by the two guests. Mr. Kumar, what is your impression? Yes, taking care of the soul. Yes, please go ahead, sir.
But also work. I agree with both speakers, and what they have said is very wise and very good. The problem in our working situation is that most of our work are no longer work. They are just jobs. And there's a big difference in English language between jobs and work. And when students at Schumacher College finish their 1 year of study, and when they are about to leave, I say to them, go out in the world, but don't look for a job. Don't seek a job, but to create your own work. And create a work which has more imagination, more creativity, more improvisation, more craftsmanship, more service, helping each other. Those qualities should be in your work. But a job you do in a company, in an organization, and they are so big generally, and their human relationship gets lost, and you become a resource for the organization. The trouble is that companies are no longer companies. The word company comes from compane, meaning sharing bread together. Come together, pane, bread. That's the word. So when I go to a business house, I ask them, are you a company? They say, yes, we are a company. Say, please take me to your dining room, your kitchen. And they say, but we are a company, we are not a restaurant, we don't have a kitchen. I said, company means to share bread together. You have to bake your bread, you have your lunch together with your colleagues, and have a family feeling and a kind of community feeling and working together, knowing each other. That's lost. And so jobs and work have lost the meaning. And if there's no meaning in work, then work is no good. So we have to find good work. And good work is necessary. Good work is good for us, because that stimulates our imagination and our skillfulness. We know how to build a house. We know how to make pottery. We know how to grow food. There's a skillfulness. And we do this with love. The work includes love. If you do something with love, then it's more creative, more imaginative, more satisfying, more fulfilling, more joyful. Jobs, people are exhausted. They do things, but they don't like doing it, but they do it just for money, because they have to pay the bills. Now, I say to people that human life is not here just to pay the bills. There's a much more deep meaning of human life. So creativity, imagination, good work, where you have meaning in your work, meaning of life, and you love to do it, that is good work. So we have to transform our work, our jobs rather, into work. That is a good way. Thank you.
ありがとうございました。
Thank you very much.
これまでに仕事とあり方とか経済についてお
Work,
話を伺ってきたんですけれども、
economy,
新しい
we've
社会を作
discussed
ってい
the
くには
work and
やっぱりコミュ
economy,
ニテ
but to
ィの力もあるなと思うんですけれど
create a
も、
new society,
新しい社会が生まれるのを
community
促進
is
するためには
important,
どのようなコミュニティを構築していく必要があるのかとか、
accelerate and
コミュニ
promote
ティが
new
持っている
creation of new
力だった
society.
り役割というものはどのようなものな
How
のかについて
can we
ぜひお二人の考えを伺いたいんですけれど
bring
も。
to bear community? How can utilize the power of community? Mr. Miyagi first, please.
カンパニーのお話もありましたけど、
Company
コミュニティ
was mentioned by Mr. Kumar just
コ
now,
ミュニティというもの
and
が
community
とかそのまさにコミュニケーション
or communication,
の価値というものがやっぱり
the value of community and value of
今まで
communication.
はさっきのお金を
Well, because
生み出すということの
there was so much focus on
おまけという
making
かそ
money.
のための手段みたいな感じで
Community
捉えられてたん
and
ですけど、
communication
む
became
しろそちらの方が
means
結局自分
of
たちの
making
に
money.
とっての幸せとか生きがい
But
のもとに
community and communication are the source of happiness and source of sense of fulfillment as we lead life. And I think people's values are changing in that way.
を作っていく、つながりながら生きていくということに対して、
We live in a community, and in the community we are connected with each other, and
活動というか
so
仕事の
activities
自体が
to
結構増えていくのかなと。
form and strengthen community
まあ我々の周りでも
activities for the
エ
means
コビレッジ的な
of
ことを仕掛けて
forming and strengthening community, I think will increase. And there are many young people who are engaged in what I would call eco-village type of projects.
三位一体素晴らしいなと思ったんです
And
けど、
I
そういう
was
と
very
ソウルと
impressed by
ソ
this
サイティを
trinity, soil, soul, and society. And I think there are young people who are interested in pursuing all
自
three.
治体とか国の
In the
政策に
past,
頼るよりも
We depended on local community, local governments or the central government, but rather than relying on governments,
自分たちで作っていく
the way of living that we would like to realize can be
当然ながら環境
created by
の
ourselves.
にも配慮して
And
自分たち自身が
At the same time, we can care about the environment, and we can also be independent energy-wise.
自分が今生きていることに対するまあ揺るぎない
I think
土台み
that
たいなもの
that
が
will
できている
provide us with a
感じている
unwavering
若者たちがすごく
foundation
増えているという
based on which we can lead our life. And many young people have these thoughts, and I'm trying to support those young people. And I was having lunch with some of them today, actually. And
複数の拠点複数の所属を持つということが
people
すごく
are
自
now
分たちの
beginning to have multiple places where they belong, multiple affiliations, multiple places of activities, and
やっぱり一つ
they have a
の場所しかない
better sense of
っていうこと
freedom.
がすごく
If
こう
you
や
are tied to only one place, then that will narrow the thinking and that will limit the connections, relations you have. But in the past society, by focusing on one place, the government was able to increase production in the country. I think that was the past structure, but now we want to have rich connection, rich relationship, multiple connections, multiple relationships. And by doing so, we don't have to fear for the future. Because of the fear, I think people wanted to make money and save money and be successful in career, but we can be free from such fear by having multiple connections and relationships. And there are increasing number of young people around me who are becoming connected with each other, and that's quite encouraging. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Takei. You also are creating your own community. So, Mr. Takei, what are your views about this matter? Well, as a matter of fact, I'm trying to create a community where I live, and we try to farm together. We also try to do local festivals. Several times a year we do festivals. This summer we hosted a summer festival with 20,000 people who came. We would actually collect garbage. So together with the local government, we're involved in this type of community building programs. And as Mr. Miyagi just mentioned, I believe that we should have other communities. I belong to 20 different communities outside my local community. For example, I have my own company, and the company itself has now been transformed into a community. We all invest together. We all hold stocks. There is no ruler. Under the law today, we have no ruler in this new company. So we call this the community company. We have no rulers. It means that we have the mindset that we help each other. The prerequisite is that we help each other. It's not that one being beneficial. It's not that one person being able to gain more than the others. We want to avoid such a situation. So also we have this community currency as well. We have created a new program with community currency. So we start with the question of what community is all about. How can we foster a relationship where people want to help each other in this community? That's the research which I've been doing for many years. And there's one very interesting revelation. It's a pun, sort of. When we talk about markets, for example, market is the market where you do transaction with third parties. You use money, and the prerequisite and the assumption is that you do transactions with third parties that you do not know. So marketing is considered to be one of the most popular work. But marketing is all about trying to extract more from strangers. It's a technique about trying to gain more from strangers. But then, on the other hand, what about community? Community is based on human relationship. It's a community based on human relationship. That is what community is all about. It's an amalgamation of all human relationships. So you want to help each other. You like each other. You want to help people because they're in distress. And you can also ask others to help when you're in a problem. That's what community is all about. That's what we call community. So we start with we don't start with helping. It's not a matter of helping. You want to help because you like this person. You want to depend on this person because you like this person. So how can we create such a human relationship? That is the prerequisite of community. So it's all about how people can come to like each other. It's a very simple, straightforward response. So I think we should play a lot together with people. When you're a child, you don't think about techniques of interrelationships. You play together and naturally become friends when you're a child. But in this human society today, money is so powerful. So as adults, When you're adult, you do something that is beneficial for you, but you do not do anything that is not beneficial to you. That's a company, right? Companies only focus on cost performance. They focus on return on investment. You invest. You only invest in something that you're able to recover. But then, the more you do, you no longer play with each other. So that is why. How can we have fun? That is my thinking. I like drinking. I like to get along with people. So I do work only at the extension of this interpersonal relationship. Then, when you're in trouble, other people will help you. And I have a lot of friends. So when they ask for my help, I help my friends. It's not a matter of money. That's secondary. Money is the secondary, tertiary thing. If my friends are in trouble, I want to help. So it's all about morality. Moral emerge from interpersonal relationships. So I think we talk about lack of moral in our society today. That is true. But then this mentality based on moral, I think this is something that we're born with. All people have that. We have no leverage, and we have no, if you will, opportunity to express that. We have so much compassion. If we have compassion, I think you should get along with people, have fun with a lot of people, then you can create compassion. Thank you.
So, Mr. Kumar, hearing the two guest speakers' comments, what are your thoughts?
Thank you. The community, if you want to create a good society, it's made of individuals working together with other individuals. And we have to reduce our ego in order to create a community. At the moment, our individualism is driving us towards personal success, personal name, fame, prestige, power, all for me. I, me. In order to create a community, and a community is required for a good society, we need to move from me culture to we culture. And we have to think that all our thriving is mutual. We are living in a society of mutuality and reciprocity. The individualism, which is a kind of modern idea, I think it's more come from a kind of more American or European idea. Whereas in Japan, also in India, the individualism was part of the bigger picture, the community. Actually, in India, in certain parts of India, we don't have a word for I. No word for I, just we. You don't say, this is my house. You say, this is our house. Even sometimes, if you welcome somebody, your guest, you say, welcome to your house. It's not my house, your house. So this kind of mutuality and reciprocity creates community. But the kind of this new culture of kind of individualism, individual success, individual name, fame, prestige, power, money, etc., my house, my car, my. We have to shift. That is a kind of good society. It's a society where people are striving together. We are all related. We are all connected. In Buddhist language, Thich Nhat Hanh, who is a great Buddhist Vietnamese master who passed away, he used the word interbeing. Ecos is a home. Ecology, economy, interbeing, interconnectedness, they're all words related to community and an individual in a community. So if we can shift our focus from I to we, In the Western culture, particularly from France, you have a great influence of a philosopher called René Descartes. And the Cartesian Descartes, he created this idea of I think, therefore I am. Me, my thinking, and my being. Whereas I read a book challenging this idea of I think, therefore I am, and my book is called You Are, Therefore I Am. The earth is, therefore I am. The air, fire, water, my ancestors were, therefore I am. I am made of the sun and the soil. I'm made of the universal spirit. I'm a part of a bigger picture. The whole cosmos is in me, and I'm in the cosmos. That bigger vision than this my, me, individual, little me, and my success. I think we have to move to this grand vision of cosmic consciousness. That's a community for me. So I think if you want to create a good society, we have to move away from this I think, therefore I am. And my success is most important to me. Is how we create a mutuality, reciprocity, relationship. Everything is relationship. Our body is a relationship of millions of bacteria. Our body is made of eyes, ears, the five senses, and many, many other things. It's a body itself is a community. A family and home is a community. A village is a community. Whole nation is a community. The whole earth is an earth community. So if we have this interrelated, interconnected, interbeing, and mutuality and reciprocity, and not this egotistical me, me, me. We have to move from ego to eco. Eco is relationship. Eco is home. Ego is me personal. So let's move from ego to eco. That's the way to form a community, and that's the way to create a good society. Thank you.
ありがとうございました。
Thank you so much, Mr. Kumar. That's wonderful. So we need to expand on the I. We need to shift from ego to echo. Thank you so much for your valuable insight. I wish we could hear more from the wonderful speakers, but I'm afraid we are fast running out of time. So we would like to go on to the very final question of this session. Well, we have the viewers for this forum today, and I think many viewers today really want to do something to create a better society. And I'm sure many viewers today are already involved in actions that contribute to creating a better society. So based on the dialogue we had today, I would like to invite the two guests and also Mr. Kumar to provide a message to the viewers who are connected to this forum. So any advice for the viewers to create a new, better society. So let's start with Mr. Takei. Mr. Takei? Well, thank you, Mr. Kumar, for your wonderful comments today. So creating a new society. But then society is all about, it's created by people. So if we use the technology available today, we can create a much better world, I'm sure. But then, as Mr. Kumar mentioned, the systems, be good or bad systems, are created by people. So we need good hearts. We need people with good hearts. But to do that, we need good interpersonal relationships to create a better heart among the people. So I hope that I'll be able to get along with a very large number of people. I think the society today, we only have very little interpersonal relationships outside home and outside your work environment. But you need relationships in your local community, your hobby. You need to belong to many different communities, create relationship with as many people. That will create and foster such a mentality. That is my view. Thank you so much for this opportunity today. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Now, Mr. Miyagi, please.
私はガンディのBe the Changeっていう言葉大好きなん
Be
ですけ
the
ど、
change by Gandhi is a message that I am very fond of. And through the activities of Goi Peace Foundation, I was able to meet Nippon-san, and I joined Gandhi 3.0 a few years ago. And be the change, I felt that to change the society was a very huge endeavor. That was my impression. Change the country, change the mechanism of the whole society. That was my initial impression. But in the Gandhi's retreat, and I learned about Gandhi's life, and I came to understand that be the change, and the change includes something closer to home. It does not have to be grandiose change. And so I was able to understand that much better. The world that you want to have, and be that world yourself. And that is something that you can start doing, starting from here now. And Buddhist monk Saicho said that be a light in the corner, and I think that that is similar to be the change. It may appear somewhat different, but I think it's in the end similar. And I was able to learn the true meaning of be the change, and to have more of such experience is what we are able to do every day. It so happens that during lunch today, I was speaking with younger people. One was a university student who started managing a shared house. And this shared house is offered free of rent. They rent a room based on the compensation that they received working. And this student wanted to offer a shared living quarter because this student oneself had a difficult life in earlier childhood. And it has been going on for 2 years, and I felt that this was a wonderful idea. And something like this, it can be done quickly once someone comes up with such an idea. And I was very encouraged by a young person who is actually doing something like this. And once we put our mind to it, we can realize such change. And it's closer to us than we think. And once again, the phrase "be the change" is what I heard once again today, and I want to treasure that word, phrase, throughout my life. And Mr. Kumar is living the teaching of Gandhi. And I was able to sense the vibration of Mr. Kumar, and I'm very appreciative of this opportunity today.
Thank you, Mr. Kumar. Could we have your final comments, please? Thank you.
Okay. Thank you for all the kind words of appreciation that both our speakers have given to me. I am very grateful to hear such kind and appreciative words. The last comment I would like to make is that we want to create a good society, but we are always saying, how am I going to create a good society? It's a very big task, a big challenge, difficult. How am I going to change the world? How am I going to change business, industry, government, economic system, political system? Looks very big. I say, to answer that question, don't worry about the big task. Start something and start small. Small is beautiful. And Schumacher name, we call our college Schumacher College because Schumacher, E.F. Schumacher, was the author of the book called Small is Beautiful. So take small steps. A journey of 1,000 miles begins with one step, and then take the next step, and then the next step. So change step by step by step. And then it's not so difficult. I started my journey to go around the world. I took 13,000 kilometer journey from India to Moscow, Paris, London, Washington, and Tokyo to Hiroshima. I did not worry about the 13,000 kilometers or 2.5 years. I said, I'm going to take one step after another step after another step. And I covered 13,000 kilometers. So my last comment and my last word is, all our listeners, start with yourself, start with one step, small step, step by step, keep moving, and you can participate and contribute to make a good society. That's all we can do. We are not in charge of the world. We are not going to change the whole world instantly or immediately or today or yesterday. But we can make one step. And then your potential, you are a great individual. Each and every one is a potential Gandhi, a potential Buddha. Each and every one of us have some potential. To realize that potential, we have to act and be an activist and have a hope in your heart. Hope is very important. You cannot be a pessimist and an activist. Activism needs optimism. And a pessimist can be a journalist, but not an activist. For activism, you need optimism, hope, but active hope. So active hope, step by step, keep moving, and you will help to create a new, good society. Thank you.
ありがとうございました。本当に
Thank you
愛あふれ
very
る
much.
力強いお言葉を
Thank
最
you
後にい
for
ただ
a
きました。
very encouraging, strong words full of love. And with the two guest speakers, we were able to discuss with Mr. Kumar about creating a new good society. Thank you very much. I would like to be able to continue this discussion more. Maybe next time when Mr. Kumar has a chance to visit Japan, we would like to continue this dialogue. And hoping that we can continue, I would like to end today's discussion. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for joining us at the forum over very long hours today. Indeed, thanks to Mr. Kumar, we had a wonderful forum. I'm so glad that he was the recipient and laureate of this award. Now, the coordinator of Part 2 was Maki Kawamura, who is the executive director. What is your impression having coordinated panel 2, or Part 2 rather? Thank you very much for joining us today, ladies and gentlemen. Goi Peace Foundation, as was mentioned by the president, really focuses on reverence for life, respect for all differences, gratitude for existence with all of nature, and harmony between spiritual and material. We are aspiring to create such a society. It's very important that each individual make contribution. That is the shortcut to creating this type of community. And that is the view we had in our past 20 years of activity. Indeed, the laureate of Goi Peace Foundation Goi Peace Award, Mr. Kumar, is indeed embodiment of such a lifestyle. For many, many decades, he has embodied this philosophy. We're very happy that he is now the laureate of Goi Peace Award. We're most honored to listen to his presentation today. In Part 2, we also had the chance to listen to guests who embodied such activities here in Japan, taking care of each individual soul. That was part of their work and their economy. We took Mr. Miyagi, Mr. Take, who embodied this philosophy in Japan, were part of panel 2, Part 2 rather. I believe we were able to at greater depth of the lifestyle which was being promoted by Mr. Kumar. Thank you for your patience and thank you for staying with us until the very end of the session. Thank you very much.
Indeed, Mr. Kumar gave a wonderful speech, and Mr. Takei and Mr. Miyagi also gave wonderful comments, and they are pure in their heart, and for a better society, they are actually taking actions, realizing change, and I was deeply impressed. Ms. Chairperson, please. Mr. Kumar is very energetic and young, and he was very vibrant, defying his age of 86, and I was moved by his speech. And he is comfortable being himself, and he's very modest, and he has talked about a very important way of living, very important topic, which is the way of living. The foundation is organizing events and seminars, inviting people, and there are projects involving young people. I was able to sense that there is going to be a change. Goi Peace Foundation will be able to be the guiding post for people, especially for young people. And I'm able to see that while I am alive, and I'm very happy. And I would like to ask for your continuous support and guidance. Listening to Mr. Kumar, simplicity in life, I felt was important, and as a prerequisite for that, a simplicity in mind is important. In today's chaotic world, I think we also have chaos in our mind. To make this world a sustainable, harmonious world, we should not look to the outside for answer, but we have to look inward. And as Mr. Kumar said, by changing ourselves, we can change the society. This year, once again, unfortunately, we are having this forum virtually, but at long last, I hope next year we would like to have the forum in person. We have already booked Nikkei Hall for next year's forum on November 23, 2023. It will be on the same date, November 23. I very much hope that COVID will be contained by then. And I also look forward to seeing you in person there. And with that, I would like to conclude today's forum. Thank you very much.